Sunset Overdrive was released on October 28th of 2014 for the Xbox One. The game was developed by Insomniac Games and published by Microsoft Studios. It's an open-world sandbox game that has really unique movement when compared to other games in this genre. It's sort of like if you mash Tony Hawk games with Saints Row games. The game has a certain punk rock attitude and look to the game, which makes it feel really unique. The game takes place in the future in 2027, after an energy drink called Overdrive turns all the residents of Sunset City into mutants, which are referred to as OD, or overcharged drinkers. As you try to escape the city, the creators of Overdrive, Vizco, attempts to cover up the incident with homicidal robots. While attempting to escape the city, you meet other survivors of the overcharge incident who help you along the way. Many of the side characters are pretty wacky, including a group of samurai scouts, LARPers, and rich university students. While the plot is fun, overall it does lack depth for many of the characters. I really wish the game explored more of the backstory of many of the characters, the main character especially. However, I'm unsure how doing that would fit into the game's overall feel. In many ways, the game's style and the way it handles the plot is done because it knows it's a video game and it doesn't really strive to be much more. This results in an over-the-top feel of the plot. However, it does cause lack of depth somewhat in the plot that it could have had. The gameplay is one of the things that truly shines about this game. Sunset Overdrive's major focus in the gameplay is the unique movement style that the game has. Rather than using a car to get around like in many other open-world games, Sunset uses a parkour system of wall runs, grinding, and bouncing to traverse the city. The parkour feels really good in this game, and it's fairly easy to perform most platforming and movement situations that will be presented to you. The biggest gripe that I do have with the parkour system is that the game doesn't give you the air dash ability until about halfway through the game, and prior to getting it, traversal just doesn't feel as good as it does after you get it. I really think the air dash should have been given to you earlier in the game because of how essential it becomes with movement later on. The parkour system also bleeds over into the game's combat, and is one of the most major elements to the combat. While moving around, every kill you get and every parkour move you perform will be added to a combo meter, and when paired with character customizing things called overdrives, will give you certain benefits based on what level of the 4 levels you're at in terms of your combo meter. This can be things like fire starting behind you as you move, or having your melee attack shoot tornadoes out of it. The weapons in Sunset Overdrive are hit or miss. Most of them are wacky mismatches of stuff, like a gun that shoots vinyl records or another that shoots bowling balls. Each gun has various stats that are suited for one of the 3 enemy types in the game: robots, humans, and OD. Until you level up many of the guns in the game, they feel kind of worthless, which is sort of a problem the game has. I found myself using 3 of the numerous guns in the game primarily. However, due to the ammo cap for most guns, you're forced to switch guns often in combat. Combat in this game generally requires you to be constantly moving. If you stand in one spot, it's easy to be killed within seconds. I wouldn't consider the game to be hard per se, however it's very easy to get yourself killed if you don't keep yourself moving constantly in heated combat situations. The boss fights are on the easier side of things that you'll be doing in the game, but they're also a ton of fun due to the size and scale of most of the bosses, which are typically gigantic. For the most part, the missions in this game are pretty much all a lot of fun, with the exception of about 2 or 3 of them. One mission in particular is a part where you have to protect the LARPers by using catapults around a park. The difficulty of that mission feels out of place, and protecting NPCs is rarely fun. One major complaint that I do have is the save slots are tied to your Xbox Live account, and you can only have 1 save per account. So if you want to play through the game multiple times, you'll have to start a new Xbox Live account every single time. Overall, the gameplay is really solid once you get the hang of it, and it's easily one of the best features of the game. Insomniac did a really good job of combining the movement with the combat for a really unique feel that no other game really has. Sunset Overdrive has an awesome soundtrack that's pretty much all punk rock written for the game. One of the unique features of this game is as you fill your combo bar while going around the city, the music will slowly become more complex. At combo level 2, you'll start to hear the bass line, and at combo level 3, you'll get full guitar and drums with it. This gives a really fun reward for keeping your combo high and makes you feel more badass as you keep a combo going. Overall, the soundtrack is among the best non-licensed soundtracks I've heard in years. Graphically, the game is total eye candy. It does a good job of showcasing the Xbox One and has a really amazing balance of realistic and cartoony graphics. One of the things that struck me right away was the skin textures on everyone. They're fantastically high resolution and make all the characters in the game look awesome, especially the protagonist. Also, there's little to no dark areas in the game, which is awesome, and everything is bright, bold, and colorful. Visually, Sunset Overdrive is amazing to look at and has to be one of the prettiest games ever made. Overall, Sunset Overdrive is totally worth playing. There's really no bad points to the game except for a couple of the missions that you'll encounter and the way that the game saves. The gameplay is unique and fun, and the game features some of the best graphics and music I've seen in years. I bought an Xbox One to play this game, and I wasn't disappointed. Is it worth buying a console if you have no interest in the other exclusives? Maybe not. But the game is a really solid entry to the Xbox One's library of exclusive games.